Hello, I'm gonna run around to the other side of the counter. Okay, so I am gonna make some super healthy soup to boost our immune systems, plus it's super duper cheap, okay? So I'm gonna try to walk you through this, and I'm gonna try not to make this like a million minutes long. And I do wanna preface this by saying that I am not a doctor, and I'm also not a real chef. I am definitely a home cook by all means, which basically means I do things at the fastest rate possible because I always have little ones who are very hungry. So I'm starting by just putting some oil in my pan. Again, this is avocado oil, one of my favorite oils. It can go to a very high heat of 500 degrees before it goes rancid and is not like good to use. So this is really great for sauteing as well as if you're gonna roast vegetables. And this is I used about 30 cents worth of oil. So pre-chopped, I have a whole onion and some carrots, so I'm going to put those in there. Also some garlic. So onions are very anti-inflammatory. Garlic is known to be antiviral and antibacterial, and carrots are just good for all sorts of things. I don't know if you can see my onion. I was going to try to show y'all again how I chop things is the fastest possible. So what I do, I cut them in half and then I slice it down, but not all the way, so that I don't actually sever it. Then what I did was lay it on my cutting board and I cut slices. And now I'm going to chop those in little tiny pieces. So kind of the closest this would be is like dicing a tomato, but again, I am not a chef, so I do not, measure all my pieces at the end. If I were to go on a show, I'm sure they would tell me to get out of their kitchen. Also, fun fact, onions always make me cry, but I looked up something of how not to make an onion make you cry, and it said put it in the freezer for 15 minutes before you cut it. So I chopped the first half before this video, and it totally made me cry. And I just chopped this half, and it did not make me cry. So I think it works. If onions always make you cry, I guess we just need to freeze them, guys. Just freeze our onions. All right, so all that's in here so far is my oil, my onion, my garlic, and my carrot. And I'm just gonna let that saute over here. My onion I got on sale for 3 pounds for $1. So I calculated that my onion was approximately 33 cents. And then my carrots I buy typically in 5 to 10 pound bags. And so I kind of approximately added up per carrot was roughly 8 cents. And I'm putting 5 carrots in here. So I'm saying that's a total of 40 cents. All right, so I'm gonna put that in there. I take off the top and the bottom of my carrot like most people. However, I do not peel my carrots. I leave the skin on there. You're so far away, but I leave the skin on there. And the reason is that the skin is very highly concentrated in nutrients. So if you peel your carrots, you are throwing away a lot of nutrients that you could be consuming. I just scrub them really good with like a vegetable scrubber, or a lot of times I have the kids do it, and I leave it on there. So in the skin, 40% of the phytonutrients that are in carrots are found in the skin, and vitamin C is most highly concentrated in the skin as well. So I don't want to throw all of those nutrients away. It's also additional fiber to fill up the bellies of my family. So I am all about that all the time. I'm gonna let this keep cooking over here. I just want them to get nice and sauteed. I want the onions to get clear. I'm letting all the flavors mend together. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick in my huge water bottle. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is add some spices. I don't really know the best way to calculate these because I buy everything in bulk, and I have no idea like how much per ounce it was at this point. So for good measure, I just said 50 cents using my spices. I'm sure it's less than that. Fresh is always better but I don't have fresh ginger right now because of the quarantine. I'm not going to go to the store. So I'm just going to use my powdered ginger. Again, I always like fresh best, but I'm going to go ahead and do roughly a tablespoon. I don't measure a whole lot when I'm cooking. I'm just kind of, again, I am not a chef by any means. The next thing I'm going to put in there is turmeric. Turmeric is also very anti-inflammatory. It has a lot of great antioxidants, and it's going to make our soup a very beautiful yellow color. I'm going to mix this around. You should start to smell the aroma of the garlic and the onion and the ginger now. All right, I'm going to mix that all around and let it keep sauteing. Also, another good thing, if you don't have onions, if you've run out of onions at this point on your quarantine, you can always use chopped onions. These are from Costco. They're the ones that are like little bits and pieces of onion. And it even says on here that 2 tablespoons of chopped dried onions is equal to half a cup of fresh onions. So this is a good pantry staple. That way, if you ever run out of onions, you can still have onion flavor in your food. I'm running back around this way. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna add is chicken. Now this is only 1 cup of shredded chicken, and I know that sounds crazy. On a normal day, I would probably put 2 cups of chicken in there, but with the quarantine and not leaving my house, and also keeping this meal at $3.50, this is only 1 cup from a rotisserie chicken. Which I have is approximately $1 from the amount of chicken that I got from that shredded chicken. After I shred it all up, the rotisserie chicken was $4.50, and so I'm saying this is approximately $1. So everything is approximate. I don't know how perfected I can get. I'm gonna throw that in there right with my spices. All right, at this point, I am going to throw in 6 cups of chicken broth. If you were with me yesterday or day before is when I made this chicken broth. So all of this broth, I am saying is absolutely free because I would have just thrown the bones in the trash, but instead I made something useful out of it. So we're gonna pour in 6 cups of chicken broth. For those of you who don't know, one of the cartons of chicken broth from the store that is probably less nutritious because it's been in a carton for who knows how long. Those are about 4 cups. So I would have had to buy 2 of those. And depending on what brand you get, they range from $2 to about $4 per carton. So I saved myself a good $6 to $8 by making my own chicken broth. And I love it because I know the nutrients are in it. I know that I made it at home. And again, I like free things. Anything that's free is wonderful to me. The next thing I'm gonna do as that is cooking is I'm just gonna show you this. That obviously is gonna have to simmer for a while. I won't make y'all watch it the whole time. But what I'm gonna do after the vegetables are softened is I'm gonna add in my pre-cooked rice. This rice here, again, I joked with a friend the other day. She was saying, she has 1 kid, Stephanie, if you're out there. She has 1 kid, and she was going to the store, and she was like, I felt kind of crazy. And another one of my friends, Hannah, she has 7 kids, so she understands me. But she was like, my friend with 1 kid was like, I was at the store, and I felt kind of crazy because I was shopping, and I was buying like 2 or 3 of items that I'd normally buy 1 of. And then she kind of paused, and she was like, I guess you always feel crazy at the store. And I was like, yeah, I guess so, because when things are on sale, I'll get like 6 bags of grapes and 5 bags of cutie oranges. So, all in good fun, I buy 20 bags of rice 20 pounds of rice at a time. So, 1 cup of dry rice is from where I buy it at Costco. It's organic rice. 1 cup of dry rice is only 26 cents. Now, I cooked 2 cups of dry rice, which then makes 4 to 5 cups of cooked rice, and I'm only going to put 2 cups in the soup, and I'm going to save the rest to make fried rice tomorrow. Because day-old rice is best for fried rice. So that's only going to come to about 50 cents for the rice. That's also going to fill up a pretty big portion of my pot. So I'm going to let my vegetables soften. I'm going to add in my rice. The last thing I'm going to do is put in some pretty hefty handfuls of baby spinach and just let them soften in the pot. Then I'll probably sprinkle some salt on top, and then we will be good to go for dinner. So I will post a picture later once it's all the way finished, but I don't want to make y'all wait that long. I also didn't add I just said salt. I didn't add salt. But so total, again, I added it all up and it was $3.49. So I rounded up to $3.50 if everyone is okay with rounding. So I will give you a shot at my pot. I took you off the stand. This is what I have so far. So all my veggies are going to cook down. I'm going to add that rice and I'm going to throw in some spinach, and then dinner will be served. I hope that was helpful. If you are in the kitchen and you're running out of supplies, I will try to come to you with some more healthy recipes that are super budget friendly, and hopefully are ingredients that you have in your kitchen. Also, fun fact, with soup, I feel like you can throw in any vegetable you have. So if you didn't have carrots, you could have thrown in celery. If you don't have celery, you could have thrown in a potato. If you don't have a potato, you could throw in like almost anything. You could probably even put bell pepper in there if you had it. But anyways, I was looking at my fridge to see if I had anything else that I would have put in there, but I don't see anything right now. But anyways, I am going to go now. I'm going to let it cook and I'll send y'all a picture later. Hope you liked it.